Welcome back to Flair Stories, where the most captivating narratives await you. Be sure to subscribe to stay updated with our newest narratives. I'm Zohan, 25 years old, and I'm employed as a software developer at a small tech company located just outside the city. Dylan and I have shared a friendship since our college days, and our bond has remained strong throughout the years. Today's narrative revolves around an unforeseen day that transformed everything for me and his family. Dylan and I have shared a long friendship, yet I've always felt a certain attraction to his mother, Linda. Her warmth and energy are utterly enchanting. Whenever I paid a visit, I frequently found myself in conversation with her, occasionally even more than I did with Dylan. She has a relaxed vibe, finds humor in my jokes, and truly, she's stunning. Her allure was simply irresistible, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. On a day when I found myself with some spare time, I thought it would be a delightful idea to pay Dylan a surprise visit. I didn't give it much thought. I took my keys and headed over without giving anyone a heads up. I imagined it would be an enjoyable, impromptu reunion. Upon my arrival, Dylan was absent, yet Linda greeted me at the door, her expression one of surprise at my presence. With a warm smile, she welcomed me, her soft laughter echoing as she beckoned me to enter. "Well, this is unexpected," she remarked with that unmistakable grin. "Dylan failed to mention your arrival." I grinned and massaged the nape of my neck. I figured it would be a nice surprise for him, I responded. With a chuckle, she gracefully moved to the side. "Although he's not present at the moment, feel free to remain until he returns." At that moment, a torrential downpour began, abruptly complicating any attempt to depart. Linda peered out the window, arched an eyebrow, and then faced me again. "You're certainly not going anywhere in this weather," she remarked, her smile growing broader. "It seems you'll need to extend your stay just a bit more." I nodded, a quiet satisfaction blooming within me at the chance to linger a little longer. She guided me into the living room, and we made ourselves comfortable. The gentle patter of the rain set a serene, cozy backdrop as we engaged in conversation. Her presence became increasingly captivating to me. As the rain drummed softly against the windows, Linda presented me with a comforting cup of tea. As we settled into the inviting living room, our conversation meandered through topics of work, life, and naturally, a touch of Dylan. Her laughter was gentle and welcoming, wrapping around me like a warm embrace. From time to time, our gazes would connect, holding just a moment longer than expected, and I sensed that delicate electricity in the air between us. As we conversed, she reclined in her chair, effortlessly crossing her legs. Her posture exuded grace and confidence, capturing my attention effortlessly. She was 50, indeed, yet there was an ageless quality that surrounded her. Her energy and her smile radiated a youthful charm that completely captivated me. I attempted to conceal it, yet I believe she caught on, as her eyes sparkled with delight each time I glanced in her direction. "So, Zohan," she said with a playful smirk, interrupting my thoughts, "you seem awfully quiet tonight. Is there something you're pondering?" Surprised, I fumbled my words, letting out a nervous laugh. I suppose I never anticipated finding myself in this situation. Only the two of us. She tilted her head, her gaze inviting and playful. "Oh, what a lovely surprise," she murmured gently. "Dylan hasn't been around much lately, so it's nice to have some company." Her words flowed effortlessly, yet the warmth in her tone sent a thrill through me. Our dialogue flowed on, and before long, it ventured into more intimate territory. She recounted tales from her youth, the aspirations she once held, and the transformations her life had undergone through the years. I was utterly captivated, absorbing each word with rapt attention. As time went on, the tempest outside escalated, revealing no indication of abating. Linda cast a quick look at the clock before turning her gaze back to me, a contemplative smile gracing her lips. "It seems the weather is not going to improve in the near future," she remarked. "The rain is pouring heavily outside." I nodded, my gaze drifting to the relentless downpour outside the window. "I don't believe I'll be able to return home this evening." She nodded, her voice gentle and filled with empathy. "Feel free to make yourself at home if you'd like. Dylan's room is located just down the hall." A smile crept across my face, a mix of gratitude and an exhilarating excitement simmering within me. Thank you, Linda. I would be truly grateful for that. She vanished for a brief moment, only to reappear with additional blankets, laying them gently on the couch next to me. As our hands lightly touched during the exchange, a wave of warmth coursed through me, prompting me to meet her gaze. She locked her eyes with mine, her demeanor gentle and welcoming, and for an instant, the world around us appeared to vanish. You know, she said softly, almost a whisper, I've always thought you were a charming young man. Now that you're here, it's been really lovely to talk. Just the two of us. My heart pounded with intensity. I share your sentiments, Linda, I responded. The atmosphere surrounding us was heavy with emotions left unsaid. She gazed into my eyes, a quiet intensity in her expression. And then gradually, she moved nearer. Her warmth enveloped me, the delicate fragrance of her perfume lingering in the air around us. In that instant, I realized this was a memory that would remain etched in my mind forever. She maintained my gaze for a heartbeat longer, and I glimpsed the warmth flickering in her eyes. Then, maintaining her gaze, she leaned in and gently swept a stray lock of hair from my forehead. Her fingers lingering just a moment too long. My breath hitched as her touch ignited a spark within me, and I instinctively leaned into her hand. Zohan, she murmured gently, like a breath of air. You're truly remarkable. The words hung in the atmosphere, and in that instant, I could no longer restrain myself. As I approached, I softly grasped her hand in my own. Her skin felt inviting and gentle, and she remained close. Instead, she leaned in, her lips slightly parted as if beckoning me to draw nearer. With my heart pounding, I leaned in and softly pressed my lips to hers. Cautiously at first, she replied, her kiss soft and inviting, her hand delicately placed on my cheek. We took a brief pause, and as our gazes locked once more, an unspoken understanding flowed effortlessly between us. I drew her nearer, my arm encircling her as our kiss deepened, a fervor that had been simmering throughout the night. She breathed a gentle sigh against my lips, her fingers gliding to the back of my neck, drawing me closer as if she had been anticipating this moment as well. Her touch ignited a spark within me, and I found myself drawn to the gentle curve of her waist, savoring the warmth that radiated from her skin. With a measured grace, she withdrew, her eyes sparkling with a mischievous light. You know, she whispered, I never imagined this would unfold. But now, I suppose we both understand the direction this is taking. I offered a smile and a nod. I'm pleased it is. The rain persisted in its relentless descent outside. Yet within these walls, a sense of warmth and intimacy enveloped the space. She reclined into the couch, drawing me in with her, and I encircled her with my arms, embracing her tightly. Her fingers glided over my back, each caress igniting a fresh warmth between us. Our lips connected once more, this time with greater depth and intimacy. Her hands wandering, her warmth beckoning me as if she had been anticipating this moment just as eagerly as I had. Her fingers glided along my arms, a delicate and playful caress, and I found myself smiling against her lips. She gazed at me with a familiar warmth in her eyes, her fingers gently resting against my chest, as if sensing the rapid beat of my heart beneath her touch. I bent closer, pressing my lips to her neck, allowing the touch to linger as I sensed her shiver in response. Every instant seemed to stretch infinitely, and I found solace in the comfort of her hold, our hearts synchronizing as the rain cascaded outside. She let out a gentle sigh, leaning just enough for my hand to discover the elegant curve of her waist. A flawless match for my touch. Emboldened by her reaction, I allowed my hand to glide gently, following the curve of her back, sensing the warmth through the delicate material of her sweater. She released a soft sigh, her hand settling on my shoulder, drawing me nearer, her warmth surrounding me, and the sensation was irresistible. I found myself drawn closer, my lips grazing the delicate curve of her neck, relishing the velvety texture of her skin and the delightful tremor that coursed through her as she tilted her head. Beckoning me to continue, I leaned in gently, encouraging her to react with greater fervor, and gradually attempted to slide my hands beneath her sweater. The sensation of her softness was exhilarating, filling me with a renewed sense of energy. I could no longer resist the urge to delve deeper into her essence. Our gazes met, and an unspoken connection formed between us. I leaned in once more, kissing her passionately, relishing every second. My hand grazed her hip, and I sensed her pulse racing under my fingertips. She appeared to unwind entirely against me, her form fitting to mine as I embraced her tightly. Each touch now resonated with a deeper sense of authenticity and connection. She gazed at me, her eyes radiating warmth, brimming with feelings we struggled to articulate. With a gentle smile, she reclined into the couch, leading my hand to her shoulder, her fingers intertwining with mine. I allowed my other hand to glide down her leg, sensing the warmth beneath my palm as I gently caressed her thigh. The intimacy we shared was unmistakable, and our kisses lingered, relishing every second as our bond intensified, causing me to forget everything except the sensation of her in my embrace. As we separated, gasping and disoriented, the world beyond had changed completely. The rain fell steadily, creating a soft atmosphere that enveloped us in our own secluded realm. I could see the warmth in her cheeks, the way her lips shimmered from our kisses, igniting a spark of longing deep within me. I had never experienced anything quite like it, an instinctual bond that pulled me nearer to her, compelling me to delve deeper. Perhaps we ought to relocate to a more cozy spot, she proposed, her tone soft and alluring, tinged with a hint of playfulness. I could only nod, a wave of excitement washing over me as she guided me down the softly illuminated corridor toward her bedroom. The door creaked open, unveiling a space that exuded intimacy and warmth. Gently illuminated by the soft glow of a lamp, the room was elegantly decorated, yet it was her essence that genuinely animated the space. She turned to face me, her gaze unwavering and electric, the atmosphere around us heavy with expectation as the door clicked shut behind us. The echo filled the stillness, amplifying the significance of the moment. I moved nearer, irresistibly attracted to her, much like a moth captivated by a flickering flame. My heart quickened as she approached me. I grasped her hand, our fingers weaving together, the heat of her skin igniting a spark within me. With a soft pull, I drew her nearer, my other hand gliding over her waist, savoring the warmth of her body pressed against me. She gazed up at me, her eyes glimmering with longing and playfulness, and I sensed my determination fade as I bent down, claiming her lips once again. The kiss intensified, growing more fervent as I drew her closer, our forms aligning seamlessly. Her warmth enveloped me, each kiss igniting electric waves coursing through my veins. Her hands glided over my arms, mapping the contours of my muscles before weaving into my hair, drawing me nearer and encouraging me to delve deeper. As I pulled away from the kiss, I gazed into her eyes, witnessing the mirrored intensity and fervor we had sparked between us. I leaned my forehead against hers, relishing the moment, experiencing a mix of exhilaration and vulnerability. "Do you really believe this is the right choice?" I murmured, my voice scarcely rising above a whisper. She responded with a gentle smile, nodding as her gaze met mine. "I've never been more certain of anything," she responded, her tone unwavering and infused with warmth. With that affirmation, I bent down once more, sealing my lips against hers. This time, I took a moment to pause, carefully leading her onto the bed. The mattress embraced her with a gentle softness, drawing her in, while I lingered above, the tension in the atmosphere unmistakable. I moved slowly, allowing my lips to glide along her neck, planting gentle kisses on her collarbone, relishing each instant as I sensed her body tremble under my caress. Her fingers glided over my back, encouraging me as I navigated her body inch by tantalizing inch, relishing every gasp, every sigh that slipped from her lips. I took a brief moment to gaze down at her. The intensity of her gaze, brimming with desire and faith, left me utterly speechless. I moved in nearer, our forms fitting together seamlessly as I made contact with her. My hand grazed her thigh, a gentle yet assertive touch that sent a shiver through us both. As the rain relentlessly pounded against the window, I became completely absorbed in her, the outside world dissolving into nothingness. I acted with fervor, driven by the bond we shared. Each kiss, each caress delving into the profoundness of our longings. We flowed together, entwined in the cadence of desire, and a wave of contentment enveloped me as every heartbeat drew us nearer. The evening unfolded, rich with soft laughter and breaths of delight as we surrendered entirely to one another. The lines of our friendship faded, giving way to something more profound, something untamed and exquisite. Never did I envision that a night could reveal itself in such a manner. Every moment drew us nearer, enveloping us in a wave of closeness. As fatigue settled in, I found myself lying next to her, my arm wrapped gently around her shoulders in a protective embrace. We were both breathless, our exhales intertwining as we absorbed the remnants of our bond. Her fingers danced gently across my chest, and I bent down to place a soft kiss on her forehead, relishing the warmth of her body pressed against me. This evening was nothing short of extraordinary, I whispered, my heart brimming with feelings I struggled to articulate. She faced me, a gentle smile lighting up her face. Indeed, it was, she responded, her eyes glimmering with delight and a touch of playfulness. This feels like something I could easily adapt to. As we surrendered to the embrace of sleep, the rain outside softened its rhythm. Yet within us, our hearts remained entwined, irrevocably transformed by this unforeseen night of desire. In that moment, I realized it was merely the dawn of something extraordinary. A narrative intricately crafted with strands of longing, camaraderie, and blossoming affection. We lay wrapped in one another's embrace, savoring the warmth of our shared intimacy. The outside world gradually resumed its usual rhythm. The rain had eased, and the gentle tapping against the window provided a calming backdrop to our hushed exchanges and quiet chuckles. As I was on the verge of surrendering to slumber, the sudden chime of the doorbell startled me back to consciousness. I stood still, my heart pounding as I stole a look at her. A blend of astonishment and alarm flickered in her gaze. The weight of the present moment bore down on us. Her son, who is my friend, was at home. Is that the one? She started, her voice scarcely rising above a whisper. Indeed, it's him, I responded, my thoughts swirling. We hurriedly attempted to compose ourselves. Yet the desperate shuffling of fabric and garments only intensified the disorder. The doorbell chimed once more, its tone more insistent this time, causing my heart to race. Hurry, conceal yourself, she implored, her gaze filled with desperation. I surveyed the room, my mind racing as I sought an escape. Instinctively, I plunged into the closet, flattening myself against the wall. My heart raced, echoing in my ears. I paused, listening intently to the sounds drifting in from beyond the bedroom door. Mother, are you back? I listened as my friend called out, his voice resonating through the halls of the house. I had a feeling I'd discover you here, he remarked. She opened the door to the living room, her demeanor transforming from flustered to poised. Indeed, I am present, she responded, her tone unwavering even amidst the turmoil within her heart. I caught a glimpse of her through the back of the closet door, standing upright, her face revealing no emotion. Her poise in that tense moment was truly admirable. Did you get caught in the storm? He inquired, entering the room, oblivious to the tension that hung in the air. I paused, yearning to glimpse his expression, pondering what he might perceive. Just a little shower, she replied, her voice tinged with a touch of nervousness. But I'm fine. How did your day unfold? It was quite enjoyable. I was looking forward to spending some time together. I picked up some snacks from the store, he said with a bright smile. A smirk crept onto my face, entertained by the ordinariness of his words juxtaposed with the intensity of the recent events. Certainly, just a moment, she replied, casting a glance back toward the bedroom door as if she could feel my presence. I paused, anticipation coursing through me as I awaited the unfolding of events. Would she extend an invitation for him to enter? Would he perceive that something was off? Sure, I'll be there in a moment, she replied, pivoting from the door and making her way back to me. Her eyes sparkled with a fierce determination, a promise to seize this moment and not let it fade into the background. Hurry, put your clothes on, she urged, her heart pounding in sync with mine. I hurriedly put on my clothes, attempting to calm my racing mind. The faint sounds of my friend shuffling about in the living room reached my ears, accompanied by the soft rustle of bags as he sifted through their contents. Do you believe he is aware? I inquired softly, a sense of unease slipping into my tone. No, he can't, she replied, biting her lip, her expression a blend of thrill and trepidation. Simply behave as you usually would. We'll find a way. With a final look exchanged, we steeled ourselves for the inevitable return to the world outside. I emerged from the closet, my heart racing, and entered the living room just as my friend pivoted to face us. A broad smile lighting up his features. At last, you've arrived. I began to wonder if you were avoiding me. He chuckled, utterly unaware of the electric tension surrounding him. She replied smoothly, just getting a few things organized, shooting me a glance that conveyed so much without a word. As the evening unfolded, laughter enveloped the space, concealing the underlying tension and the words left unspoken between us. My heart raced, the memory of our fervor echoing in the recesses of my thoughts. In that moment, enveloped by the warmth of connection and the excitement of recent events, I found myself navigating the intricate dance between camaraderie and emerging emotions. And I was certain of one thing. This marked the onset of a complex and enchanting narrative that neither of us could have foreseen.